Hail brothers, Amphibious here. I did it. I accrued 60 roll queues. Now initially I was going to practice kind of my mid hero pool, which is between 2 and 3 heroes. But given that I have such limited time and everything else, I figured let me just spam one hero. So that's going to be the loop going forward. I'm going to queue all rolls until all rolls until I reach 60 roll queues in total, which is the maximum number you can get on Dota 2 when you queue for ranked, as you know if you're watching this. And when I have 60, I'll dedicate all 60 to one hero so that I can try to master not only the role of the mid lane, but the hero as well. I've decided to go with the Ember Spirit. But before I get into why the Ember Spirit, here's some few things that kind of surprised me. The thing that surprised me that I was like aware of intellectually, but it wasn't until I actually put it into practice that I kind of, it clicked and I got it, was just how much better your decision making is in Dota when you play one hero for more than 10 games or like tens of games at a time, and you spend that on hero, because the execution, like piloting that hero, becomes so second nature that you just do it instinctually, just like driving a car. I think I've done this analogy 5,000 billion times, but please be patient. I have profound subtardation. So it just frees up your cerebral executive function of your brain, so you can look at things like micro positioning, right where you are in relation to the opposing hero on the lane or like in the team fight, and macro positioning where you are on the minimap and how you play the map and stuff like that, because in terms of like using your spells and items, it's just like second nature. It just becomes so ingrained. That's probably one of the best ways to learn Dota, is because so much of Dota isn't the hero itself, like being really good at one hero, but having a good game sense, game understanding, like positioning, stuff like that, you know. In fact, it seems to me like that's probably the most of the complex decision making around Dota are not so much around your hero, but around just the timing, the time dimension, and the space dimension on the map, like where your hero is on the map, where it wants to be, and kind of like what golden experience it wants to hit the certain like power spike and stuff like that. But I'm rambling now, so let me get back to the topic at hand. Now, why did I choose the Ember Spirit? You know, I recently saw a guide from Quinn that it was an Ember Spirit in-depth or more in-depth guide, and it was such a well-made guide. I mean, it's not even, I mean, well-made maybe isn't the word, just that he describes things so well. He's such a good educator that things just fell into place in a way that they never had before. I played Ember Spirit in the past. I never really liked the hero that much, but now watching Quinn's guide, just conceptually, I was able to really understand what the hero really is, how it wants to play, what it does and what it doesn't do. Like how just having like a theoretical framework of how to look at the hero and how to play the map and stuff was so powerful that it just revolutionized how I play. Like even from the first game where my mechanics were super rusty because I hadn't played the hero in a long time, just having that theoretical understanding was an enormous advantage. Now mind you, I'm playing with Guardian level guys and Crusaders. I'm at a super low level, super noob. So like, you know, the competition is not really there. Excuse me. I mean, you know, most of the guys that I play against, they're just not, they do basic, like fundamental giant mistakes and errors. So it's, you know, but even so, just following Quinn's guide and just having this theoretical understanding of the hero is incredibly powerful. Given all this, I actually love the hero now. I really love the way the hero plays, the way you play Ember. It's all around the Flame Guard. So your main source of damage is your Flame Guard, and when you don't have that, you play a lot more like on the back line, kind of with the supports, and you just throw out a Sleight of Fist and a chains and an urn or like a vessel charge on an enemy, and you only go in and you commit when you have the Flame Guard. Like I said, I only have about 12 games, but I can tell you the hero has very, very strong early game, it feels like, in my games at least, which again are the Crusader level. Very strong early game, and I actually had a super late game with him last night that I thought the hero doesn't scale that well and it really falls off in terms of damage. Maybe it does. I mean, my experience as of recent is really, you know, it's quite limited, right, with Dota. I play when I can, but it's not that consistent. But anyway, it did a lot of damage. It did a lot more damage than I was expecting. Maybe that's because I was expecting it to do less damage and whatever, but even this was like 50, no, it was over an hour. Super late game, and you know, I would do a lot of damage. I had a refresher and Aghanim on me, so that was surprising. But even if the hero did fall off hard in the late game, it's such a powerful hero. I mean, you hit level 6 and 7 when you max out your flame guard, and pretty much any lane you go on, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill of a core, and probably both heroes, just because they can't really get away from it. That it's hard for them to deal with you. I mean, unless they're in their tower, if you catch them out a little bit, you're just gonna kill them, even with just by yourself or with one support or something. It's a very, very fun hero to play, very, very fun play style. My favorite type of play style, which is brawly. I like to brawl a lot and move on the map a lot and come at you. I like to come at you, brother. Okay, don't get mad at me. This is just the game. What do you want me to do? Like, go easy on you? I'm not gonna go easy on you. But this thing, after watching Quinn's guide and developing a theoretical understanding, it made me realize that, like, having a solid understanding of game theory, optimal strategy in Dota absolutely trumps mechanics, like being good mechanically. I do think there's a minimum requirement of mechanics, but dude, the difference is too great between me on Ember before I watched Quinn's guide, excuse me, and me on Ember now. And I don't know, so much of Dota is just like a mental game. And once you're above a certain level of mechanics, like, you can't really make mistakes, of course, especially at higher levels. But so much of Dota is just like having that mental understanding, mental game, and like staying cool under pressure and stuff like that, which is a slightly different topic. But you know, having good positioning is probably the most important thing in Dota. It seems like to me, understanding timings and rotations really well. These things are much more important than being like a mechanical whiz. I played against this Invoker mid, which I could tell that he would practice last hitting a lot. He was really, really good at last hitting. Obviously, I'm on the Ember Spirit, so you know, I did well, but that's just because the hero has a huge advantage, a melee agility hero against a range caster, right? So, but his last hitting was like super, super good. Probably better on mine than mine is on Invoker. I haven't practiced last hits on Invoker for a while. But after the laning stage, and this is not to brag, but the guy was miles behind where I am in terms of like understanding the game, and it made all the difference. He just would just because of bad positioning, he died in situations where his impact was like minimal because of that. So yeah, maybe not the best example, because the mechanics ceiling on Invoker is really, really high. Like, you need to have really good mechanics, obviously. This is maybe a general thing that I noticed about the Crusader level and like Guardian level and stuff. I've had a few creative matchups where I could tell guys were like spamming a particular creative out of the box mid hero. Like I was up against Techies, up against Venomacer, Visage, stuff like that. Heroes that you don't really normally see mid. And in several games, I even fed like Techies killed me twice because I wasn't used to the matchup, and one of the deaths was I just wanted to see if I could kill him. I never was up against the Techies mid, and I just underestimated the damage he would do, and he killed me. Same with the Venomacer, I think killed me with the support, but he like harassed the fuck out of me in the early levels and stuff. But the same pattern after the laning stage. I mean, first of all, you don't really have a hero. Like, you've got a Techies with levels or Venomacer, but what can you really do? You can just like, if you're a Venomacer, you can't even really push towers that well. You can't jungle well. You got a slow and an ultimate, and your hero's slow. You can't do much. Whereas on the other hand, I'm a true mid hero, which is like an Ember. I've got high mobility. I've got like damage and everything. So if I just have level 7 and boots on me, literally just boots without anything else, then I can go on a lane and like my impact is huge. Whereas you, it's just, I don't know, it's just, there was the same problem with techies. Techies killed me twice, I think, because I'm still a noob. But then after the laning stage, the matchup kind of played itself. I just did a lot more because I'm an Ember Spirit, and the guy they don't really have a mid hero. It was the same with the Venomacer. He just became like a higher level support. So I think one thing that I noticed is that people just I don't think people have a good grasp of what the mid hero, the mid role is all about, and I think they just think they need to win and like have more last hits and stuff, and that is important. But if you don't translate that advantage into hitting your timings and pushing your hero and doing rotations or whatever your hero needs to do, then it's for nothing. Like, it doesn't matter, you know? I don't know, maybe that's too vague. It's just something that I noticed. I mean, so many games, even when I lose mid, at the laning stage is over, and it feels like an auto win. Like, I just need to not make mistakes on the mid hero, whether it's Ember, Invoker, or like Storm Spirit. I haven't played Invoker in a while, but I played some Storm Spirit where the Ember was banned. Same thing. I mean, I didn't lose with, it's very easy to win mid with a Storm Spirit, to be honest. But, you know, let's say I would lose theoretically, but it doesn't matter, right? I recover quick with just farming the jungle a bit, and then it plays itself. I've got a super strong mid hero that does a lot, and they have like some weird, I don't know, I can't think of an example now. Like Tiny Mid these days. I mean, Tiny Mid is not that bad actually if he gets a blink and whatever, but you know what I mean? Like, if it's not a true mid hero that does the things that mid heroes want to do, which is either pressure the map a lot, output a lot of damage via rotations, or have a lot of control and you have damage in your team and you can pressure the map that way, like a puck or something, or push towers really strongly and aggressively. You stay mid, but you put a lot of pressure on towers, you take towers and whatever, then your hero is not, there's no point in you going mid with whatever hero, with like a random hero that doesn't do much. I don't know. I mean, at this level, I can confidently say all you really need to just win is like a pretty decently scaling hero. If you're a core, just get a core that scales in whatever role, and you'll probably win. Just automatically. I mean, your win rate will definitely be over 50%. Now, look, this video turned out to be a lot longer than I was intending. So if you watched this far, I thank you kindly, and I will see you in the next one.